What's up, zombie fans, and welcome back as we are talking World Beyond. This is episode 5 for the first season, and this wasn't a god-awful episode, except for, the whole Girl Scout power. Let's go build a boat, as, that's what we can do together as we work together. Guys, I don't know, I get the feeling in this episode, the feelings I had back in one of the previous seasons of Fear, when they were building a gosh dang airplane, okay? No. I mean, if you want to give them an objective, have them try to go find the right boat, and maybe, the zombies there's some obstacle there that they just can't get it done, but they'll find a way. Somehow they'll find a way. Instead, we're building a boat, and you gotta love Iris. They're like, what are we gonna do here? And most of these boats are old or torn down. She goes, well, let's build one. And we can do it. Yeah, of course we can. Hope's like, yeah. I know why Hope's name is Hope, because she's literally that little backup, little voice says, it can be done. It sure can be done. And it was just classic. After they're kind of going after, like, oh yeah, we can do this, and Huck's over there like, look at these guys getting after it. Yeah, maybe they can do this after all. Jesus. And then Silas jumps in. He goes, yeah, we can add stuff. Oh, the dialogue. I will admit, the dialogue got a lot better, I'd say, after halfway through. If I can even say that, but yeah, I think it did. But Felix, obviously, as we left off, his main objective was trying to turn these girls and boys around, right? To use Huck, and they were using Elton as their little kind of mole to get in there and try to instill that fear. And it was kind of interesting how they kind of revealed that. And it was by Hope basically overhearing Felix talk to Huck about it. And I was like, that could have been a little bit better executed just for the reveal, And she just kind of runs over and starts yelling at Eldon about, like, oh, I see, so you're going to try and turn us around. She's pissed, obviously. She wants to go see her dad and so forth. But I'm like, you're an idiot, okay? You've seen the encounters, and the fact that you still think that you can make it is just ridiculous. But thus is the story, and we're along for the ride, right? So Eldon has to kind of defend himself. Felix gets his ass torn out pretty much by Hope. That whole argument was just kind of like, anyways. He's a guardian, so it's easy for me to say, just leave him there. Let him die if they, that's what they want to do. But it's not that easy, right? It's not easy for him, because he made a promise to the dad that he would watch over them and take care of them no matter what. And she even complains at one point in time during this episode about how Felix, basically she's blaming him for the dad leaving. He's like, you could have stopped him. He trusted in you. He trusted your opinion. And you didn't. And furthermore, about how he never really acted as a big brother to her. She's just angry. She's just saying angry things, that's for sure. But it kind of makes him think for a moment, too. And I think Felix has to kind of come to Jesus moment and just realizing, I'm going to have to help these kids just get this done. And because I'm sure he wants to see the doctor dad as well, too, alive and well. But even though he still feels that he's probably safe up there, which that's definitely wrong. But all the same, we know that he doesn't know that, because their whole crew's been wiped out. But I'm just trying to figure out now, if they're on the they're trying to get across this river, and if they're actually getting this done, which they do by the end, how are they going to find out about their complex being completely wiped out? Because that's a huge part of this story that still has yet to be revealed to these kids and Huck and Felix. So I'll be curious to see how that works out. So as if the boat idea doesn't get it isn't just crappy from the beginning, is what I'm trying to say. Iris gets idea number 2. Well, we don't have an engine. Well, and there's nothing around here, Eldon's saying. But hey, there's this old air conditioner and stuff like that. Maybe we can just kind of throw something together. She's like, yeah, how about a steam power? We can turn into I'm like, man, you guys are some amazing kids, because I wouldn't know. The first thing, and maybe that just makes me an idiot or whatever, and whatever. It's whatever you're good at, what you study. I don't know shit about steam powered. I'd have to read 10,000 books on it probably to create an engine. And the fact that you'd have all the right parts in that warehouse, maybe. I'm thinking more like you'd have to search all the nearby places as well. Anyways, it's a show. We got to keep the story going. But I was like, so this is it, an air conditioner modified motor. Interesting. But they get it done, but they have their troubles along the way. How are they going to fuel it? Then they see this nail polish. Is it just me? Or some of these ideas just so, like, goofball concocted? Like, they're sitting there like, what could we do? Well, what's combustible? Nail polish? Let's have the warehouse have a couple boxes of nail polish in there they can use. I'm just like, okay, no, I'm not okay. And you shouldn't be either. This is garbage. The writing is so lame, guys. And I just want to point out that every week I take a look on IMDb just to see where the show is, because it's been dropping since day one, and just like it was last week, it dropped a whole nother tenth of a point. It's down to a 4.1 now. And hold on, I just want to see how many views, because I didn't get a chance to get a good look at it. So 4,800 views, which is nothing. I mean, The Walking Dead alone, I just had to look that up because I was curious. I think they still have an 8.2. Yeah, 8.2 for the show, and over 530 plus thousand, reviews. So I think this speaks volumes as to how many people are actually watching World Beyond, and for the ones that care to actually even talk about it, they're not talking great stuff. And I know I'm pretty cynical on the show too, because they make it so easy. I can't help it. I really try so hard. I will admit it's a little easier to watch some of these episodes because I'm just like, I come to terms with it. I hate Iris's character. Okay, let's see what the other ones are up to. And for that matter, Elton's character had some interesting flashbacks tonight. We get to find out some more background around him and what went down. But I was very bothered by the flashbacks. And further, to talk about it, just briefly, the mom, which, we're supposed to try and get some kind of connection, but I wasn't grabbing that connection with her either. I was just kind of like, I just, something really turned me off when she immediately stopped the dad. The dad was telling an interesting story about meteorites and how how they fall to the earth, and about space and whatever. Because the guy's a scientist. I mean, he's into digging up bones of dinosaurs and so forth, right? Archaeology. And at some point, she goes, "He's 5." It's like, let him tell his story. We don't need you intervening here. I just got really turned off by that part, And then she's like, "Oh, I gotta go." So she ends up leaving. Anyways, we skip forward through it all, and the dad ends up leaving poor little Elton in this box. So that scene earlier when we said he was claustrophobic, we finally get to learn why. He basically was in that box probably for a couple days. At least that's my guess. Maybe a little bit longer, it's possible. And he had a special little dinosaur spear tip thing, which looks totally different than the one Iris has, but I digress. Let's move on. And I guess the dad's like, this will make you safe. Stay in this box, whatever. So I'm thinking, okay, so maybe the dad went to go rescue the mom or this or that. When Elton finally gets the courage to finally get out of the box and walk out the door, the dad is sitting right next to the door with a gunshot wound to his head, clearly zombified. So he had turned, and he was shot and killed. So I'm like, what were you doing? Were you trying to just go out and see what was happening outside? Stupid. Were you going to go try and save your wife, but you got stopped along the way? Maybe you got bitten. Maybe you tried to make your way back, but by that time you turned. I mean, I guess I could buy into that. I just think they could have shown a lot more to that flashback, and I think that would have made a better episode than half the junk that we saw with this boat building bullshit. I just got to be honest. Especially when he was leaving out, and the fact that a 5-year-old Elton could take that map and see the evacuation zone, and it did show a line, and it did have streets on there. And I want to give kids a bit of credit, but I have 2 young boys, 9 and 7, and if I gave them a map and said, "You are here, you need to get to here, follow this map, get there," really? I'm sorry. I want to have faith in my boys too, as much as other kids. I don't think so. It's not happening. Nope. So I think they could have done a lot better with those flashbacks and making it a lot more relevant. There was another huge reveal by the end of the episode. We finally get to see, and I thought Melvin was doing a great job. That young actor. I mean, you could tell why. At first, I thought some of those flashbacks were kind of pointless. I was like, okay, so it showed something bad that happened to you. But by the very end, and he starts remembering back to just the beginning of that, when he was seeing the dinosaur bones and his dad was telling the story. And I get it. It was his last great, good memory of his family. And that's why he breaks down. And I was like, okay, good job there, show. I got the moment. I understood what was happening. And I really felt for his character. Truly did. And I think you guys probably could say you did too. More than likely. But then Hope comes over and they're trying to make up from their earlier argument. And he talks about his mom. He goes, "I still feel like she's still out there, and my young, sister Esmeralda, or whatever the heck he wanted to call her." And then it's right smack dab. I was like, "Is that picture going to be in that book?" And then Hope looks down and just gets this kind of like blank stare as she eyes buck-eyed as she's looking at it. So the reveal is there. She now knows that she killed Elton's mom. Oh boy, how is this going to go down? Because clearly she's going to have to be the one to offer up this information. And how is Elton going to take this? I mean, is he just going to... He's going to be like, "I understand. It was a terrible time." I don't know. I hope not. I hope not, because this is what annoys me about this show all the time. It seems like it's always about the hopeful side. Like there's always a way and this and that. Like, Yeah, and then there's usually not. Things happen, just like the lightning struck. Completely random in that little crappy alligator or animal zoo type building, whatever, and the zombie horde starts coming out of it, right? I mean, crap goes down. It happens, and you have to obviously try to change your plans and work around it, right? But it usually isn't going to go the way you want it to go. For these guys, it did. Every single thing goes to plan. It's a little too much. I'm just like, you guys need more hardships. And oh, how about Hope's comment? You gotta love that comment. She goes, "Well, the river's probably the last big obstacle we're gonna have between us and Dad." You're kidding, right? You're kidding. And the show actually had her say that. Most of Hope's dialogue tonight, it dropped her totally off the chart. Like, I thought that I liked Hope, and that I liked, and I know I didn't like Iris. I'm just like, I have no hope for you anymore. It's over. I'm just like, half your dialogue tonight was just like idiotic, just young, angry teenage girl bullshit. And when the obvious stuff, which I thought that she was very aware of before, now she's just kind of throwing it to the side. She's drinking that Iris Kool-Aid, and you should not be drinking that Kool-Aid. And I guess that's why I was liking Elton all of a sudden. I was like, no, this kid actually he's starting to get it. He knows he's ill prepared for this world. And Silas, he's just kind of eyeballing Elton this whole time. It's interesting because I know Silas was kind of, I guess, focused on last episode, and then this episode didn't really say much of anything at all, which was just kind of weird. And it just brings back that weird factor for him too. I don't know. Pacing, knowing when to bring in certain characters, not bringing in certain characters enough. I mean, I don't know. It was a bit awkward, the whole spilling the nail polish. I didn't mean to do it. He kind of puts out his hand, to raise him up 2 inches? I mean, I get it. He's laying out his hand as saying it's okay. But again, just these scenes, they're very cringeworthy. I might as well go throw that out there. The cringe factor, was it there for you tonight? And if it's so, what part of the episode were you just kind of like, ugh, or were you just eye rolling like crazy? I'd love to know what you thought on those. Let me know. If I had to pick one, I think it was honestly when they decided to build the engine out of the air conditioner. I was just like, you stupid sons of, I'm sorry, bad language, but that's how I felt. That's truly how I felt. Let me know how you felt too. A couple other lame stories that I couldn't help but just have to pick out and pick on for this episode. We get to finally hear a little bit about Huck's backstory, and just when you think her character can't get any more lame, we find out that she was found on the river, I guess in a boat of some sort, a raft, who cares at this point, but she was on something, and she was delirious and whatever, had a broken arm, and I guess she was found by one of the security forces, and they just nicknamed her Huck. And if you're wondering, well, why Huck? Huckleberry Finn. Look him up. You'll find out all about him, this and that, his adventures. But I'm like, this is it, huh? Oh boy, you guys, you're really bucking for promotion on this one. The only thing I did notice that I think we should watch out for the future, did you notice Hope cutting her hand on the bottom of that rusty, probably metal, for that boat that they made? I mean, it could be nothing, but I'm thinking that's going to play in later on. Some kind of infection maybe, she gets real sick. Anything's possible. I think it'd be some good storytelling maybe. It's possible just to kind of add it in there because every cut can't just be ignored. And it just felt placed in there like for a reason. Did you feel the same? Let me know what you think about that as well. Other than that though, guys, tonight's episode, it was okay. I mean, a ton of dialogue, a couple interesting scenes, but again, I don't feel worried for these characters. Even when they were pushing the boat, I'm just like, I'm not worried for any of you. You guys have such thick plot armor on. They're not going to kill any of you off. I don't think they're going to kill any of them off, at least up until they finally make it to New York. And even then, I don't think they're going to do it. I think they'll probably even all make it into the next season, if there is a second season to this limited event. Guys, it is so frustrating at times. I mean, again, still wanting to like the show a lot, still want to see more with the CRM and some of this other, maybe the Commonwealth, if they're involved, some of the, I want to see those tie-ins, but we're painfully watching these guys make their way across the way. But Felix is on board now. He's going to follow them across the river and do their thing. I think Huck said she's scouting ahead. Thank goodness. Can't hear any more from you for a while. And I guess we'll see. It looks like from the next scenes of the next episode, they're going to go on some BS mission for some young guy who I guess had all his gear stolen. And of course, Iris, we'll help you. Thank God for Felix. I mean, I swear, if it wasn't for him, I think I'd totally done with this show. Just because he's just like, Iris, no, your dad, hello, mission. And she's like, no, we'll help him. We can do it. Oh, she angers me so much. Let me know what you guys think and if you're going to join in for next week's episode. With that said, I am Mike with the Z-Man Show. I hope you did enjoy this bit of discussion. I know we were kind of all over the place in some ways, but it's all just kind of a cluster in my eyes sometimes. So let me know what you thought in the comments, and I will see you guys on Wednesday at our next review with Adam. See you guys.